All right, let's get started. Just going to write something about it. Okay. And that was Ace 2, by the way. Rob Hubbard classic. Okay. Okay, we are going to do this. We are going to continue the refactoring of the contracts. Okay. Not the contracts themselves, but the storage of them. It's not going to make things that much faster or anything. It's not why I do it. It's because I want to make it more clear what's happening. So we already touched all of these, unfortunately. You don't see that. Can't see the pop-up windows here. Okay, but where were we? So we can jump to the contract something. No. There we go. So we have these contracts right now. We're down to basically param, ensure, require, and unknown. And let's see where we use these, right? So we are here, right? We create these things, and then we end up with a bunch of these parameters, parameter and requires and ensures. So what we're going to do now is like if we have this, right, we have a first here, but we could, without I think destroying anything, we could have like params, okay, and AST ID, which would be like ensures. Just to make sure, I can just compile it with this and then see whether it hits. Oh, hang on, it's in the release mode. Oh, I don't want that. So compile for debug. Because otherwise, well, that should be fine, right? So we have now first is going to be like the requires, and then we have the ensures, and then we have pairs, and we still use like the old things. We're just going to split them. And we can do this by to do like this requires, right? So requires, and now let's see here. So contract has any, right? So first of all, well, it now has maybe one of first. Now we have like ensures or contracts as, you know, any params, or contracts as any as contract as requires. Let me see what it has. So okay, why do you want to do this, right? Contract can only be used with generic declarations and modules, right? So we also have like contracts if it has any of these, like pure or something. Ensures requires params, right? So let's, just compile this and then do a break. So now we have the requires. We're also going to copy, the ensures. We then copy the params. Now, why do I always need to copy these? Well, this copying is happening also for generics. So if you have these contracts, they need to be copied. Okay, so let's continue. We had something else here. No, that's just a copying. Copying. Sorry. Yeah, and then we have like, okay, attach contracts, right? If the generics has contracts, then those contracts will only be requires, right? So we should only ever add the requires to those contracts. This looks okay. So if there are already, we just add the requires, right? So we don't add the ensures because those are never right. First non-require, yeah. So this is like ensuring that there is only require. So let's continue. Here's where we parse it, right? We're going to parse the contracts. And the first here, like this, we don't really need this. So, because, okay, now we have like different things. So we have like the requires first, and requires next. This will be cleaned up as well. For now, we just duplicate them. So it's ensures first, and it's ensures, and then we have params, ensures, and params. Okay, so Okay, so if I don't have any contract, then we need to set these up, right? That's basically what this says. So we need to set these up. Since we just created. Actually, this is right. Was that right one? Yeah. So if we don't have any requires first, okay, at least we can parse the requires. So requires first and requires next. Right? Okay, so if I have the blah blah, the add params, now I have requires no params first, params next. And then we have a return, we don't even handle that one. But we can add like actually we can do something about that because we want to say like bool return comment, because if it has a return comment, then it shouldn't have two, right? First of all, like it shouldn't have two. So if contracts return comments, then we have some error there, right? Okay, only one returned. Okay, the AI actually would the LVM would give this. Here would be in the C-span. So return error return here. So that's what we want. Okay, otherwise to say it's true, right? We can have like deprecated, and right now we just don't do anything about that. That's what we are like aiming for basically. So first ensure, so first and ensures next. And then we have the pure, right? So we already have append docs still. Wait, do we create a contract for it? So let's do that. And then finally is like this one. We don't store anything for that. So we have like the ensures here, right? Did we have anything else? Right? We did have parents and ensures requires, right? Okay. Okay, so there's the first one. So we're gonna analyze these. Since we know what they are, we can just take the ones that we want to. So we just want to, in this case, we just want to handle the params, right? Right. So we already know it's we can already search. that directive kind is equals contract. Okay, so then we are done with that, right? Else, here we go. So in this case, we are looking for if we don't have any contract, okay. If we don't have any contracts, we just want the requires, right? So we can just do like this. So we get the contracts there. What do we do with those? So here we have the contracts. The contracts are then used. Okay, good. Okay, so we just need those requires. That's those the only ones that should be there. Sema has require, right? So we just need to return this. Okay, so then we're going to have like ensure. So we are going through the contracts and we just want the ensures. Okay, right. Right, so let me know if you have any questions. Now you just need the ensures. Well, we have these and we can assert that this is just this directive with the contract. Right? And look at this. This is also want to do the ensures, right? So we have ensures. That means we can do like we want to do this. And I no longer need to worry about this one. So we always do this. And here, what happens here? So analyze contracts, right? And in this case, we both want the contracts and the requires, right? So or ensures and requires, right? So we have doc here, which is like requires, and we have AST ID, which is the ensures. So that's the new one. Then we can loop through like AST ID doc can be requires first, and then we know so it's going to do this. Right, and then we are going through like doc is going to be ensures, and then we can do the same thing, but we know it's ensure. Like actually when the number of these are few, then this, right? So boom, 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 like this. When they are for a few contracts, then it's just gonna be like one, two of these. So it's kind of wasteful to have these, separate, but conceptually it's so much easier. So here we go. By the way, if it doesn't have any insurance, then we just return. We don't care about that. No, we don't. Okay. So here we go. Here we need just like requires an AST ID insurers. Right. And then of course here we need the requires contract insurers. Let's go. Okay, so here we are again, we are doing this. So contracts requires contracts echo insurers. We can clean this up later. Because we have one place here. Okay, so here we go when we're copying it. So mostly we are not copying these things. And let's see here. If we want to do that, how do we, in this case with the docs, I'm sure we're not doing this shorts right now, right? Find usages. There we go. Okay, it actually does use the insurance. It's okay. We can go back. Oops. Go back to docs there. Call about requires instead. Then we have insurers. It requires insurers. Insurers is this. Right, and then we get to the use part here where we have the requires. Well, requires and the insurers. Okay, and we failed here. So we'll look into these params and then we get something else. Okay, let's see where we're adding those params, right? So parents first is this, right? So parents first requires first. Requires params. On a different tag, should we run a survey asking what people need with C3? How do you mean what people need with C3? Oh wait, did I end up? Yeah, I think I mean, My problem is that I don't have time to do the I don't have time to do all those things I want to do. Why is this happening? Doc is the contracts. They look okay. Take contracts, serial name. Yeah, this looks okay. And it is and then we look at the contract info. Right, so we have the requires and we have the params, and they have the same value. Typically, I would be very unhappy if I saw that. So, okay, how did that happen? It looks like like yeah, I mean, I think that I would like to have an LSP, absolutely, because a lot of people when they work, they have some tool and the tool integrates an LSP. Basically, it's like that, right? So whatever they do, they have the LSP as the kind of backing, giving them freedom to pick whatever tool they want. And I would like people to have. I want I want people to have freedom to choose, right? You know, that's what I. And now someone I don't get some question here from my chat. I'll just. Oh, and I forgot to turn on this so you can see me. Like I've been practicing kendo, so like my hair is after having a shampooing this. My hair is standing in all directions, but that's fine. I'm like a mad professor or something. Right? Did I manage to like? Are you seeing the entire screen? Right? You're seeing the entire screen. Good. Looks okay. But I don't know why I ended up like this. I grabbed the one there, right? So doc is originally 59 though. Okay, what the heck? I must have overwritten it somewhere. Yeah. Let's see where. Um, here's the copy, right? Here's the params first, right? And then this is weird. That's like the only place. Okay, let's like at some point we are if let's see, it requires first and requires first equal 59. Okay, then we do something here. It's like it's no. Right. Then we can jump to that. So given more time, I would definitely like have a good, basically I would like a very, very good LSP actually on doing refactorings and all that. Okay, this didn't work. So we have, okay, params first. Params first, okay. Can I get hit here? Yeah. So okay, we have the params. Let's see what things are pointing to. Right, so requires, ensures, and params. So params looks good. Now why does weird things happen to this? And we have another param. And we like, okay, good. Then we go here, blah blah blah, and then we continue. Looks like 0, 59. Everything looks good. So this is the next one coming here, I guess. So first is still 59. No, first is still 59. And I don't know what we're parsing, but okay, still a param. No, it's not return. The comment. Return comment is true. Okay, and then what happens next? Oh, we reached the doc's end. No, we haven't. So we come here, okay. Then we are here, and okay. And then finally, so we're at 559. Now we have the requires first. Requires first is there, right? So we go in here, boom, 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 create that particular thing. When we come out of this, what is the, so the parents first is that, requires first, ensures, requires next. Actually, that's odd. We didn't actually get one. It's like, okay, let's start like this, right? So, did I answer your question, by the way, Josh? Did I answer what I would do? You know, um, let's see here. Params first, params next. Ensures first, ensures next. So, requires next is pointing to 50. And then params next is pointing to, hey, does it pointing to the same thing? Do we have a union here? No. Um. Oh. Perhaps. Well, that was not so strange. That happened. This rhyme as well. The problem with copy space. Okay, so let's see if this actually works. Now it compiles. Do we actually have like the tests pausing here? That would be amazing. I don't believe it. Do you have any thoughts about how to design the parser for the LSP? It needs to be, some parser that is able to recover in a good way. I heard like, the tree sitter is supposed to be that. I haven't looked at the serial, basically. But it's supposed to be able to parse partial trees, right? Like once you have that, you can do various things, right? You can start like the way you want to do it is like you start by having not resolving much things. You can just have the top level things, right? Inside of a parsing in a function, you should be able to kind of start filling out the names, like recognizing. Basically, you're not like you fix the grammar first, right? And then trying to step by step, fold symbols together, connect them together. There are, I think, like a lot of tutorials on how to do LSPs. The thing with an LSP as opposed to a compiler is that you only need to, really parse the current file, and everything else can be cached. So the trick for to be like IDE friendly or something, it's the LSP shouldn't try to sorry to talk about the LSP protocol rather than the parser. Yeah, the LSP protocol is that's like super simple. That's nothing. Like a part you have to have like you start with just parsing it, right? And then you start to add, in order to have like code completion, you need to have a cache of symbols, right? And what you want to do is you want to store in memory or on file the symbols that you're parsed and where they are. And then you want to have a good way to invalidate the cache. So that's where things kind of get gnarly if you have something like Zig. Because it's hard to know what invalidating one thing will lead to in the rest of the code. And what you need, like, is you kind of need a dependency graph of everything, so that if in C3, basically, you can say that if you haven't imported something, then the current file would just look at the things that are important. You don't need to do anything new unless you reparse anything, unless one of those files that you are importing is changing. So that's the bad thing about like imports did, because then anything in the standard library you'd have to reparse everything. But that's kind of okay. Then like for every file, I mean, in your code, for every file that you reparse, just look, well, does this one, if it changes, does it do I need to look at further, like look at more things in order to reparse it and so on. So this dependency graph and this cache, that's like the tricky part, if I understand correctly. Yeah, it's that's the tricky part, and there goes like you have to put a lot of energy into doing a good LSP. Actually, it's not like, oh, let me just randomly do something. So the C3 compiler isn't made to be an LSP. I think like mostly because when parsing errors occur, the C3 compiler will bail out. It doesn't like intend to do anything when it gets like partial code. And there are tricks in the client compiler which are, to me, like incredible. Like if you have like they have a special token which says like this is the insertion point. So when it sees the insertion point or the completion point, it like tries to, you know, like fix everything and like go to the next thing, so it doesn't break parsing for the rest or semantic analysis for everything else. Looking at that, like I'm like, no, don't do that. But essentially, like what you want to and the LSP to be is basically a compiler too, right? It's essentially a compiler. Just it doesn't produce anything, any backend stuff. It just produces, you know, it just produces like a colored the LSP reply, which is like the nodes and so on that you should color in different ways. So yeah, sure. So let's see what we do with each of these. Yeah, so semantic analysis. You can do what you can do. You can actually punt to C3 and get some information. So like the static analysis is something you can like just do every now and then. One thing I'll add to C3 though is the ability to just oh, that's not how much. It's just going to be like it will take a few hundred milliseconds to reparse everything and do the semantic analysis and everything, but it would be nice like if you could ask the C3 compiler like give me information about just this file, right? I want to change something, but you could call the C3 compiler to get more static analysis, right? And then you just need the basic in your LSP. All right. We have the parameters and we want to analyze these like these headers. And you see that like I don't think there's any use for these once they are done. So like once we go through the parameters here, the contracts, we don't use them anymore. So we don't attach anything to them either, right? Like it's just a name, right? And you just have this thing like, is it by ref modifier? So we could create a node and just, you know, a list of parameters instead. We don't need this directive either. So let's do that next. So we have params, right? And instead we create like type def struct what should we call them? So contract and we have the source span, and then we have the name, right? Achieve the full static C3C. Oh, good. That's nice. Does that mean, like, what does that mean for portable Linux? Does that affect anything? Could you get like a fully portable Linux thing now? If it's like Musel and just that should work, right? It will work on Linux every. That's awesome. Whoa, whoa. I can't share in my own channel. Okay, that would otherwise that would be great. Like can I get like shares or some shares? Can just get like I don't know how you. I'm not used to this, but that's awesome. That's pretty darn awesome. So let's see here when I add those params. Okay, so we have the we add them here and use them here. So we are creating there's the name, right? And there is modifier and the span. And is by ref. So it's like a static expression, right? It's like const expression. I'm just thinking about like where I can fit this in, so it's smaller, but maybe I. So we had like these are the ones I need. So where this contract param. So we have like a name, we have a span, we have an in and out modifier, and we have this bool by ref. That's a contract param. So that means we instead have a list of these. Let's see if I drag param. Yeah. So now it's going to look different because it's going to be a list, so we can get. Okay, there we go. So now instead we can have for each, and it's contract param. Right, like this. And it's just going to be like the name is this name, right? If it doesn't have a name, not param name, then get the span, right? Oh, we had to do. So it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a modifier, and okay. Okay, so then we have param again. Param contract. Spam here. Contracts. Might not be initialized. But it is. But it is. Maybe I just grab all those by reference instead. I have this like, it's the thing, right? And, we can have like this. And instead we have blah 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 concat forage with names. Or it's no, right? So we have the type. And we just get this. For each ref. Right. It's more happy about that one. Yeah, Linux is the final boss of awkward packing. Yeah, it's. I am amazed at you that is possible, like to do that. Like, luckily, it doesn't, like, the feature doesn't depend on even more things. Otherwise, it would have been completely impossible. What's this? Access member class. Oh, what? Overload? What? That's not overload operator. Okay, wait. Returns him error. So, okay, this one has a span, right? So we can go for this, right? So now we have ref, right? Sim error. Just this. Just gonna use a span. And and then we have like the so contract. I think like the whole thing should be okay. That's good. So now though we are not we don't need to ever copy those, right? Because they are not they don't hold any type or anything. So, and we don't need this either. Or this. We just pass this thing by reference to here. Change this one. Let's take contract around this ref. Okay, we don't need this. And we just need, like, span is the entire thing. equals C span. Then we are now we have this thing. Contract span param contract param. And it's going to be like empty, which is super hard to do in C. We can just say that the span is the span. Right. Okay, and then we have like the param name is that, or the param name is empty. And the param modifiers. And here we should probably do like a range extend red. So no. Yeah, it's not range extend. Range extend prev of this node, which is it's param, right? So okay, we have to have like this. That should extend the span. But we don't extend this. I don't think we should extend that. Okay, see what deprecated is. Okay, we can have it. Now we do a vic add this strip of that param. Okay, so I know it's params, right? This is correct. And then it should take like get the con. It's like this, right? So it's you have to dereference it once. Oops. No debug on it. Strictly speaking, this might use more memory, but not necessarily. Okay, let's run this. No, tests. This should be run. Okay, I'm just going to test some things though. So some things that are not tested. So we have like we might have param foo. Right? It doesn't exist. So what does it say? There is no parameter foo. What happens if I do like this in? There is no parameter foo. What if I do something like void test in bar this bar. Okay. We don't have, we just have this, then that should be wrong. In, out, and in, out, only be like the pointers and slices. Yes, that is correct. we can add some, right. Let's see what else we have. So the we can have this as well. Right. It would be nicer if it just online this one, but it takes memory. I want to use less memory, so for now. Okay, so now we extracted that one, right? So we have extracted almost everything. So we have the opt returns, they are handled separately. We do have the requires, they are there, right? And then we have, you know, the ensures. So what we start, like we have a contract, we have in a contract, we do have the comment, right? So one part is the comment and the other one is the expression, correctly. So let's see what happens if we make this a little larger. Like if we don't have insured, let's say we have an AST ID because that's how big it would be. Another one, and then we have like one more for these. Right, so they're twice as big. Is it K? Or do we change the size of things? We can have it, yes. Then we don't need this AST ID thing, which is painful. Then we just have like whatever is needed by the contract. So requires and ensures, they are very similar, right? They are, if I can find that. So contract. Here's the contract parameter, right? And we have contract stakeholder. This no, it's not one. Here we go. So there's the param, and here's a contract, a general contract. So here's a generic. I don't remember using this. What's that for? I don't know anymore. So we have a bunch of declarations, and we have the expression string. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. So let me explain that later. So, but for now, okay. So type def I'm gonna extract. We're gonna have like require and things. So here we go. Contract. It's called contract. We have it. That means here this one is. So there we go. And we have the first. Like this. Everything is good. Okay, now we just need to parse it and everything. And here we do care about those contracts. So what do we do? Like we could actually put them in like an expression list because they are a bit like an expression. I mean, it's not great, but you get a lot of good things from it. Contract expression. Let's do that. Contract expression. So it's no longer an AST node, it's an expression node. Right. So now we need, instead of this, it's, there we go, a dot contract, right? So we're going to have like not an AST node, we're going to have like an expression node. This one's going away. So we have like expression, and then there we go, expression contract. Okay, so it's an expression contract. Expression new, and then we have like expression contract, and then span or start. Okay, and then we need those expressions. So we have contract is going to be like any questions so far, by the way? Or is everything is crystal clear? I really appreciate what you're doing, Mano. You're doing a lot of stuff that I would like someone to look at, and it's going to be awesome. Really, it's going to be awesome. Okay, that was a exciting way to complete things. Oh, they're called yeah. So it should be like T. What's it called? Contracts. C somewhere. Expert building contract, like this, like expert contract expert, and I didn't call it that, so expert probably. So it's going to change to expert contract. Now we're going to have like expressions here. So expert contract. There we go. Okay, so we have the expression list, good. And then we start doing this, blah, 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 and then we want to add that as well. Expert, contract, expert, and we have the comment, it's there. And then we have the expression string. And then we need to have like expert list. Ref. So we add to that one. And here we have, okay, see here, we want to make that expression like expert extend, make it a little longer, and then we can do the rest of it, I think. Okay, so now get some things here, right? Okay, 6. I don't think we do anything special with this. If I set the span. we're not going to create things that are doing that. Case expert contract. Contract. Micro copy expert contract expert, and then we just copy this one. So then we have some other places where we're gonna want to have this expression is going to be like okay, so the requires is just going to be like expression list, and the other one is going to be an expression list as well. The AST contract is going away, so we have like a contract statement. This is going away completely. That means the contract kind is going away as well. This is gone. So this is gone. Is this really used anymore? This is also not used. So we're going to remove that as well. There's not actually any savings, it's just stuff. Okay, contract statement. Okay, we don't do that. Contracts don't exist anymore. Not there anyway. Okay, here we have something. Okay, lost, blah, blah, blah. If we have contracts, then we want to add them. We can't just do the next and attach them. Unfortunately, we need to actually copy them. But we can just do it for each expert in this contracts. The echo requires right, and for each of those, we can do a generics, generic decal contracts. What's that? So decal. Okay, so we have decal contracts, decal pointer, generics, long contracts. Contract echo. Oh, yes, that's exactly uint least 64 type. Yes, that's exactly what I want to like add that to somewhere else. That's completely insane. Why isn't this working? Isn't that decal ID? Oh, it's okay. And then we have some errors here. See, of course there are going to be errors, so that's not something weird. So here we don't need to know the type anymore. Oh, maybe we do. Right. Right. If it's in sure, construct prefix. So scratch buffer append prefix, and then we have scratch buffer append. That's Like it's not just glibc that's creating. Like there's a question like final boss. Indeed, Manu says I blame glibc for that, and that's like blaming glibc for being making on Linux bad for packaging, but it's also like all the everyone that's doing all the distros are like they don't care, they hate you. All distros, like you can have all the freedom you want, but we can't like let you have binary compatibility. That would be bad. Let's randomly place things in different places. Let's see, ensures, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. But this Linux world is like we don't want anything that's good. We just want we always want you to use our distribution. We can't like come up with a standard because that would make sense. And we don't want to make sense, of course. So here the ensures, these are no longer needed. Remember, copy pasted those and I said like that we want in that. Here's if requires first. If we don't have requires, so this is like basically contracts requires. We don't have that. We set this one. Okay, now we get a lot of bugs here. So okay, assert create from contract. Okay, so what we do is then we want to do like we have our directives, which are the insurers, right? So but now we have an expression list, right? So we have for each expression and ensures these. We don't need to do them like this. We can just take that directive here. This ensure. Like yeah, so why they like play around? That's like what really bugged me was when they had like what was it? It's when you had like I'm just gonna see what I'm doing here first. They placed the dynamic linker somewhere else in a new version. I thought that was special. Okay, we have the directive, we have the directive, we have the directive. No, it's different. So contract expert, and then we have this, right? And the things change. There's the comment and the expression string. That's all you need. Okay. Oh, it's already. There we have someone who is. Do people like? Is it meaningful? Like people are, just writing random stuff in Twitch streams, like trying to get people to click on things. Do people actually click? Apparently, people click. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any of those scammers. Okay, so here we go. We have the doc directive. The doc directive is like this, right? So expert. It's actually ensures. We can change that. So ensures. We have like this. Oh, it's a double. No. So for each per directive, right? Then it will understand. Okay. So we have this directive. Okay, we have more errors down here. I see them. So analyze contracts. Right, now we have this. So ensures, right? So we are doing for each expert in the requires. Require. And we are unless require, which would be like require here. Unless require is now taking like this. And then we go to the next one, which is not interesting. So do another one for each. And now we have the ensures. Oops, why are we dereferencing this? And analyze ensure. Now I want to take expression. Right. And now in here we get the contract expression is that. We have something else here. Let's go away. Anyway, before that, I can rant out about problem solver and Linux system be the least bad one. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the least bad one. I think that I mean it's making it so hard to do things. If I understand correctly, even with Moodle you can't get the right thing because if you have like OpenGL and so on, it's a dial-lib anyway. You have to load that. So this I don't know how to solve that. It just seems very hard. So like if you want to have, you want to have something work, you want to have a you want to create a game, and then you're supposed to like spend a lot of time like compiling for I don't know. It just seems so painful. Non-runtime expression. So yeah, that's definitely a non-runtime expression. Maybe you can just don't need to do as much if I have there. EST contracts there anymore. Good. Let's go. Another one. Another one. Okay, so we are resolving these contracts, and now we apparently think that we have contracts is in where are the contracts? So we have these, right? We have these requires copy X per single. I think that's the one. Right. What does this do? So this one is doing this campaign, blah blah blah. Okay, but we need a expression list. So copy expert. Copy expert list. There we go. Let's take the struct. Take the source expert list. Now we'll get this list back. Okay, so now we have them all. Then we are going to put them with this. Say it's contracts, play expert and the contracts. Have some heating inside in here, like extra, but it's really making my eyes feel like each expert contracts. Okay. Almost there. Anything else you want to discuss while I'm typing this? I feel like I could answer questions for working on this. It's kind of automated. It's nothing challenging at all here. Just dumb stuff. It's not handling switch. Okay. Okay, here we go. Analyze contracts. Okay, and takes expert. This. I think of doing better profiling for the compiler. Yeah. There are ways to do that nicely, right? So just hasn't been done. Kind of good for the main parts, so having a date with the main questions we need to solve. So I mean, it's nice that we have actually there are several attempts at making a good OSP, right? We have one, at least we have one, right? Someone took that time to do something, but we need it to be better, of course. Copy. Expert was single. I think the macro is handling like is doing it slightly different. I'm not sure here. Maybe it's copy deep. Okay, so it's assuming that we already used the same as before in the current macro. Okay, then this is wrong. Now like this. Right. Then we can have this. We are in this copy thing. Okay, so copy expert list macro. Copy expert list macro. Oops. The LSP we have is very confusing. Written with AI. Okay, that's good. Copy express macro. I didn't know that. Okay, breaks shorten the internal structure is a bit mad. Like, it would be nice if people would like sit together and kind of like work on it. It's a fun thing to do, right? It's nothing boring at all. Okay, there's that. But it takes time, like everything else takes time. So that's what sucks about it. Almost done. It's like let's grab one at a time. Here we go. It's pure. Well, yeah. It's per contract. It's very pure contract. Okay, and we are not analyzing it, absolutely not. And we are not doing L-value dispatch either. Contract. It gets kind of crazy when you have like adds an expression, you have to add it everywhere, but at least you see that. Okay, so apparently it works. So next thing, I don't know if I have enough space. That's the problem. Next thing would be to add deprecation, right? So we have it here somewhere. we have the contracts, right? So the contract tickle. What happens if I want to add one more thing? That is like deprecation. So const jar deprecation. And doesn't need a span. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. So let's see. We have here, right? So can it play around with this? We have where are the parts? There we go. So there's one. Okay. If contracts, contract decal, deprecation is not null. I'm just gonna have like this. We're gonna get that direct comment, right? And it's going to, we are going to get those. Oh, dude. I want that name. Parse join string, what does that do? Parse join string, blah blah blah. Okay, so it's in this thing if you want it. Okay, else only is in right to sign out, so it doesn't need anything fancy like HTTP to work. Yeah, it would be really nice to just do it in C3. All right, so here we go. Here's where did we use this? And it has to be used somewhere where it's actually taken care of. First direct comment. If it doesn't have one, if it has stref, then we do this. Okay, let's see. We are not going to do this. So if it isn't a string, right, then we can just we're just gonna say contracts like this. Otherwise, we're going to like we're going to parse these join strings and have like contracts. Man, what ARM featured crypto? How the heck does it even come up with that? Okay, deprecation. And then the last one is null. I think so. Let's see what happens. So we have a length we have to pass that, which is what types? ST. Right here. If it doesn't have, then return false. And then contracts is going to be up. So now we could do something like this. Okay, deprecated. Hello world. No, it's too big. Damn it. So that was it. That was the end of things. One could have wished for that. Maybe I was too greedy. Too darn greedy. We have the comment as well. Deprecation notice is just gets too big. Kind of like add a, like we have the first non-require. Oh, can't do this discard yet. The deprecation rail yet. We have too many things. Too many things. But do we need to put that in the temporary ones? Do we need to keep those around? Really? Right, because we have those contracts. We'll leave those for now. Just what? I need to go to bed anyway, so let's just not use it. It's just this message, and then we have this deprecation message. and then we end like this. Almost. Oh, we hide this for now. Both pure and this one is like are things like they should not or they don't need to really go into this contract. So okay, deprecate. Okay, yeah. I would also say that that one is weird. Oh, here we go. Okay, I broke something, but I didn't think I was breaking anything. Subster. What the heck? Okay, maybe just doing that. I broke something. Okay, we did have this right? So it was just like this. No. Oh man, it is not fun. The reason why this is not fun is I might have changed something. Like what? Why is this one like in the last seconds or something? Can we just go back to when it worked? So before I added that, okay, let's go back a little before completely. Okay, still there. So okay, expression contract is not here. Okay. It's expression contract. Boom. Like I was testing this and it worked, right? Now suddenly life has no meaning to me. That was a random indentation. Oh wait, maybe I had these and maybe there was like a bug there, but I didn't see it because I didn't compile. Most likely. Yeah. Violated assert, right? So what did we have here? So instead, Okay, this was not fun. Error exit, where is it? Error exit. Definition of this one here. Now let's see where things broke. So a declaration here, which is substring, yeah, okay. And now we're trying to get the reference of this one. And it should then be either a tickle war kind global. It's local. This means, by the way, that we lost some kind of code. Some code is not running, and then everything kind of breaks because it was assuming it was running. So okay, this was bad. Remember, we did a lot of changes. Since it's substr, I assume that it might be like a string substr. String. Let's say substr, right? Okay, so what is breaking is index of. Index of. And look at that one. Does it have? Oh, okay, here we go. Index of. Char. It doesn't unsure, right? So. Okay, let me just like drop all the ensures. Maybe like see where the problem is. So we have the ensures, right? And then just skip those and see if it compiles if I do that. Because then we can know that this is the cause. Oh, hang on. Okay. We did that, but then afterwards, let's contracts, decal, ensures, and then sets it all. Because you have to parse it, right? Oh, it still fails, right? Okay, so it's not that. Okay, we can kill off, all the checks for, I know, requires, right? They're all null too. Okay, so requires be removed, then that solve things. Can I add the ensures here without something breaking? Yeah, the ensures work. So it's just the requires that are somehow broken. Most likely what happens is that some require is no longer used. We do add these, right? If I remove this, I don't think this is a problem, but just in case. Nope, that's not it. So let's see other places where the requires pop up and we actually use them. Okay, so in this case, we could just continue, right? If true. I think this is for the generic system. I don't think this is it. So, okay, here we go. Here's the parameterized identifier. I don't think that's a problem either. So, okay. The contracts, here we do the contracts that requires the ensures. Maybe we just always say like we skip those requires, right? Does that solve the problem? How it works? Okay, let's go into SEMA analyze and create from contract, right? So we have this contract thing. Maybe this one is, not copied correctly, right? So when you copy one of those, how do you do that? So you have decal experts, which is this thing. When you have a contract to do that. That looks okay. I don't see what this should not work. Or maybe this has happened before. Maybe I just don't see it. So maybe I'm not seeing it. Hang on, is this copied? Is this copied for use? Not sure it is. Okay, here we go. We start, we have this thing where we do the only handle the assures there. Get the ones from the current function. Okay, so dogs. This one looks okay. Ensures are working anyway. Here we grab the things again. Directives, and we run the ensures. Okay. So everything from the ensures. Created, there create things, something. We do this, get those expressions. Returns, but that's not a problem. here we have these. They will look okay. Okay, we have contracts. So func docs. So this one looks okay too. So they do seem okay. I don't see why it shouldn't work. There is the case where you have like the insurer from the return, but that's a different thing. Like this looks like the require is not working. Which totally shouldn't happen. Oh, kind of too tired to fix this now. So that sucks. Maybe I should just give up on these changes. Like there are improvements, definitely. Let's see here. It has any, right? It's a pure, so ensures through parents requires. Like this looks good. Right, then these go away. Decal ID. Contracts, remove those. It's like a copy or something is missing. That's like, it just feels like, right, we are doing this thing. And that should work. And here we're copying this decal experts, and that's the only thing we need to copy. Hang on, wait, when I'm copying this new decal, is that one right? A copy expression list, okay. Copy expression list, so those look okay. I can for the life of me see what's the problem here. It just seems so weird. Like I really should have made a stop before I made those last sharing changes. Now it's going to be painful. Here we attach contracts. Let's see. This is just for new nerds, and that doesn't seem to be the problem here. And that's just a check. And that's just nothing as well. Nothing as well. This is just parsing. Like the ensures are well, the weird thing is like the ensures are working. Like the other ones are okay. We are doing one, we're parsing that, we are adding that expression, you know. Parse contracts. Set us to null, then we create one, the comment length. Yeah. Require. These look fine too. Like, why is this not? Oh wait, there's this first a contract, right? And then after you do all this, okay, let's end. The jump to end. I don't think I did that here. Like it just end right like this. I don't know if this could affect anything. It's just that let's do that. A deep sigh. Okay. I want to do the assert clause fit lara clause exit is here. It's not here. So let's see what the context is. We are emitting something in the function body of index of. So we have a chain, we have an assert statement, and the assert statement say emit assume. Okay, emit assume. So this is a pure statement, and we are saying that what binary expression greater than. Okay, so left hand side is we've emitted that we are emitting to the right hand side, so we can just slice the length. Okay, and we'll do that by getting the identifier, and identifier as subster. So this is the one that fails, by the way. And it fails because it doesn't see subster. And it doesn't seem subster because we haven't. This is when we are like emitting the function body, right? And so when it sees subster, that should be a declaration that is fine, right? It should be. I should be able to get the exact result identifier. Instance something. Okay, let's grab a few more. No, it's not one of those. It's a var, and with local, and we have Where is this? Int expression, yes, the var is the local. Don't we have a declaration attached to that one as well? Yeah, sorry, we have, that's a declaration, right? So that's the span. It has found that one, right? It's a subster. It has that. Oh, the name should not exist, right? Subster. If it's resolved, then it's a decal, right? That last subster, yeah. So okay, it has resolved subster, and it's a var of some type, and the var is local, which seems to say that it's not the, yeah, it's a copied parameter, right? But that just begs the question, why are not the parameters emitted? Why are not the parameters emitted? That doesn't make sense. It's not naked, right? So we already entered this thing where we emit the function parameters as parameters, but you know, it shouldn't be. Okay, it's a slice, right? So that's true, but we create those assert statements. Maybe it's something there. We create it from the contract, right? Here. It is a method call. Like we create a bunch of times from contracts, but we also do it from the body. So we analyze contracts. It's somewhere, I think, in not the macro call, but the this part here. So if I just did remove this, right? Will it work? Maybe it will work. Yes, it does. Okay. We have a winner, right? Then we need to look at this. Right? Why is this not working? What changed? This function body code. Okay, so compare with, I'm just gonna look at this, compare it with the original. So here we go. Like the original is doing perfectly the same thing. It just grabs the docs and it just does the exact same thing. But it, hang on, it's if contracts, right? And oh, wait, that looks weird, right? So we got the contracts. Grab the requires ensures. Now we do that because we can do that because we're not copying these, are we? Right, so let's jump to this one. We can fix things by doing that. We can fix things probably by doing this too. Now the question is, can I fix it by doing this? So I am removing this from the function invocation. That works, right? That's the problem. Yeah. Okay, so let's analyze what this is. What this used to look right then. So compare with show div here. So again, it's the problem is in I think it should have been a copy, so I don't know why that worked before. Basically, it shouldn't have worked before. So where are we now? We are in analyze function invocation. Yeah, so here we go, right? And we have these, things, and then we can maybe skip the contracts. Then we do all this splatting, la la la, and then here, for some reason, we feel that we are fine with doing this. So we want to do like, I don't know. Can we do like a copy of these? Where's the docs, by the way? So we have the docs up here, right? I don't know if this worked. I don't know why it worked before. So let's copy these. So oh wait, yeah. So we have so the contracts is like decal copy decal symbol copy decal decals symbol expression symbol decal symbol. What's that? So okay, we can't, apparently we're not doing that. We could do like what's that called? So copy something. No, that's not it. Copy. Begin. And then we have extra requires is copy extra list contracts. Requires are there. Then we copy the insurers. And then we end this. And then we do just requires the first. That works too. But that won't work if the ordering is different, I think. Because you keep on reusing that, so you shouldn't really do it that way. You should always do this with this way where you copy things like this. So let's go back. Right, here are the contracts. So if we have contracts, it's so we make a copy because this is one is going to be inlined. Oops, what happened there? Ensures requires copy and false. Okay, so they are going to be you're going to use these insurers and these inlines, right? Okay. Let's test all of them. Maybe it works. If it works, I'll just not check it in as usual. I'll just leave it be because now I get kind of tired. It's like 1 o'clock here, so I didn't plan on doing it this late actually. But it's weird, right? How long this can take, right? But at this point, the compiler has so many moving parts, like what as and they're kind of intertwined, like in a bad way. So even though these contracts are just used in a few places, you still need to be like super careful about it. Maybe there was a bug before when I base it seems like it could be. Right? You analyze the contracts, but you don't add the asserts unless, yeah. So this looks right. Unfortunately, adds more further compilation time. Oh, it has to be faster. And all of these copying is should be like you should not need to copy some things, right? But since I'm overwriting nodes, you have to do this. You have to do the copy. I wonder how far. Sorry about this. I wonder about this copying thing. By the way, there's a copy. This expert copy here, which is defined by the arena. So we have the copy, which is basically doing a mem copy, right? Unfortunately, it has to do like this calc, and then we have, a mem copy after that. And because just vmem alloc is going to be a calc anyway. And then you copy it. Yes. And then you have to patch up things inside of it after that. Yeah. It could be made faster, right? It could be like if we had variable sized elements, then we would backpatch instead. Like instead of rewriting, we would backpatch. Like you would always return, like give back the old expression, this expression or whatever is referring to it, so that it could change that that particular what that pointer points to. Problem is, I don't know if that's faster. What would be faster would be smaller nodes, though. So, again, like we talked about profiling, yeah, it will really need some good profiling, like trying to look at the different ways of doing this. And right now, like expressions are lined up. Oh yeah, that was the thing that I was thinking of. Like I could put all the spans, right? It's just like one single list, and with all of the spans, they were expanded already. So then you could have like no more than 2 billion spans, and then you just did like the expression. So each span was an expression. Then we're like you would refer to that ID, which would be 32 bits, which would save memory. There are some other memory savings that it could do, but every memory saving is like really painful. Because then you have to go through accessors all the time. That works. We still don't have like the deprecation thing, but that's something I think we should like. There should be when we parse the parse global, right? So we have the contracts and we get the contracts back, right? This contracts. Wait. Parse contract contracts. Okay, yeah, it's just getting this right. And it could instead have like this. You parse it and then you look at things and here you essentially discard it, right? There's no need to create that. We could have it's just parsed in a few places, and then you could take that resulting contract. Where's the contracts? Contract. Like here you put in those contracts, right? In the parse the function definition. But that thing, you also have this here, right? Doesn't need to be a declaration yet. You can just have it and pass it along, right? And then some data that is just like the contracts. And then you take those finally in this last step, you take those and create a declaration if you need it. So it will look like it's more of a parsing thing. So like it could be in, parser internal. You could have like this type def, which is a which we call like a contract, right? Contract description. You destruct, right? And right? And instead of having like instead of doing this, we have like a contract description, and it's just a plain one, right? Contracts, and we just have to, it just has to be zeroed out. So let's just say that span is nothing, whatever. And we can take that and set the source span. So we always set the span to that, whatever it is. Okay, then we pass those contracts when we parse it, and that is a contract description, right? And then we already have it, right? So we don't need to do anything to create one on demand. We could just say like, okay, here's the comment, right? So contracts ref comment is here, and then contracts ref comment span is that. So we go to contract. We can take that one, right? And we already know what we want. We want all of this, right? We don't need to say space anymore. So those can be just, there's a comment length. Now like the blue pure doesn't need to be like this, right? And then we can have that one. And okay. Did you, since you mentioned hosted, but it always does like thema and analysis on everything. So it's not like Zig, which just does it lazily. It just does the analysis and everything all the time. So no nonsense stuff. Okay, so we have the comment there and the comment span. Is that a comment span? Right, and there's a length as well. I guess no. Okay, and then if you don't have anything, you create notes. Do that. If contracts ref, if you don't have any requires, it's the first one that isn't a requires, or contracts first non-require a 0. In that case, we have contracts ref first non-require is here. And then we are going to parse this. I said I was going to bed, right? But yeah. Parsing everything makes sense, yeah. So parsing and also semantic analysis. So that's the normal thing. It's what Zig does is kind of weird, to be honest. So there we go. What was the old thing that I had there? Fires non-require. Oh, it's going to put the span there, right? So the first thing that it has, it can put a span on the first thing. I don't remember, so I'll look at that. So contracts, contract route. Contracts. What happens when I first contracts ref returns. Okay, and the return comment. Actually, we don't need, like, we don't even need to have this one here. That doesn't need to be like something to remember. I mean, it would just be twice, right? We don't keep around the return comment. So first this, and then we have like the code I wanted to add, but I'm not adding now because I'm this. Contracts ref, then your what? Like I like when C-Line suddenly decides that it knows better and starts a program on its own. That makes complete sense, right? Especially since it's always completely wrong. So we are parsing the module and we're getting the contracts, right? So we have contracts. Actually, can pass that by reference. So we get like contracts description, right? And attach contracts, and then we have like, okay, we have contracts description. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here actually in the middle of things, but it feels good. So I'm going to leave it with a good feeling, and God, I'm tired. So thanks for watching. right? And see you, right?